Well, Thomas, good afternoon. Thank you for your time. A week between games. We talked about this, I think, on Saturday, saying a bit of a break, which is a good thing, an intensive period, then a proper week to prepare for what is, on paper, a really big test. This is a real test of your team, isn't it, coming up the next 3 games?
Oh yeah, massive test, and we're looking so much forward to it because we are in a really good place. I think the last 11 games we got 22 points. Not only that, also good performances and some great performances. The team are full of belief, confident, but also very humble, because we know it's an unbelievable, relentless league, and we are ready to attack the next period and take it game by game, and we're ready to go to Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow or today, and then and play tomorrow, and attack, because we are in a good place and we have a big belief. But again, we know every game is going to be tough, and Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow is going to be a big test because I think they've done well this year, and I actually think they're a little bit like us. Maybe deserved even more from the last. I can't even remember how many games we played. 19, 20 or something like that. So they actually quite impressed me in the way they've done things. So that'll be a really good test. But we're prepared and we look forward to it.
And how's the squad? Any sort of there's no niggles, I suppose, that affect you, apart from obviously long-term injuries, and having a few extra days just allows a little bit of rest, doesn't it, for players if they felt?
Yeah, definitely. I must say one big thing that was promising to see was, of course, the performance was bang up there, but I think physically we just went through the roof in the third game in a week against Luton side, where we knew we need to beat them on the physicality, and not in 1v1 duels, but on the intensity, in the pressure, intensity in the way we want to run behind them, intensity in how we wanted to play, and that was very promising. So I know we're up for it and we're ready.
As you say, Sheffield Wednesday, they're the home team. There'll be the onus on them to perform in a certain way. It's a pitch that feels big. It's a big stadium. I mean, does that actually give you as a coach a lot of pleasure to know that there's spaces on that pitch to exploit with the way that you play?
I think we actually been quite good this year defensively, as we talked about. Also been much better away from home. I think actually we should have got even more out of the performances we played away from home this season, and we know that we have pace up front, and we know when we are going forward we are a big threat, and Sheffield Wednesday need to take that into account. They can't just just go forward, because then we potentially can hurt them a lot.
And from the threat that you pose, so early in the season a lot of the goals were coming through Ollie. I mean, he was playing that role. But now that other players are up to speed, Saeed scoring, Josh obviously getting a hat-trick, Brian finding the back of the net, that makes you a more difficult proposition to face, doesn't it? I mean, that, from a coaching point of view, the further out you spread your goal-scoring talent, the more problems you pose for your opposition.
100%. We need goals, and the bigger variety we have, the bigger threat we will be, because it's not easy just to close down Ollie. Now they also say, as you said, Brian Mbeumo, then Justice Silva is stepping up to the plate. I think Matthias Jensen also, you can see really he's progressing, and even Kamo Mokotjo is adding a goal now and again. So we need to do that, and the way we play, we can see there's a big flexibility in the way to go forward, and there's threats from different areas of the pitch. So that's a pleasure to watch, especially when it turned out like the output is like when we did it against Luton, especially in first half. So but we need to keep our heads down, big belief, be humble, and go again.
You mentioned the away form. How much of that is about belief and confidence? Because this year, as opposed to last year, we discussed it last time, a win tomorrow would be 3 times as many as actual on the pitch victories away from home as the whole of last season. How much of that comes from the fact that you, as a group, they start believing actually we can go out to this pitch and we can win anywhere?
Yeah, I think it started a little bit last season in the spring. There was slightly better performances, but also I think especially that solidness, that organization in the team we have when we play in general, but also away from home, that we know we actually can defend in spells if needed. And that gives us a lot of confidence. And now that we had some really good, strong away performances, that just building even more confidence. So we're going into each game and we have a big belief that we can go and win it. Of course, we know it'll be even, but we have a big belief that we can go and win it. And that's a massive thing. Because I think in football is, yes, belief, confidence. I think the fitness is really big. If you can be 100% fit, or you can play with 100% intensity. Those two are major. That's the foundation in any team, and we are bang up there. And on top of that is the abilities or the quality of each player, and then the organization. So yeah, we just need to keep going.
And you talk about that need to be able to play at 100% intensity. So when you've got, again, 3 games in 8 days. Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. 2 of those games are at home. But how important is the sort of the physical analytics that is done after a game as to the condition of your players when you come to decide what you do for the midweek game?
Well, of course, we take everything into consideration. I think the most important thing is that we do everything we can to win the next game, is Sheffield Wednesday.
Yep.
And after that game, and if there's a chance during that game to take some decision that maybe can rest a player too, maybe a lot of times it's not possible.
No.
We can do that, but after the game, then it's all about that, be really good in the recovery side, and my staff is unbelievable there, so they do a top job in that aspect, but also the players need to do a top job there. Then to look at them the next coming days, and then try to see which players are fitting for which game in this situation, and sometimes try to look ahead, not too far ahead, because things can change like that. So that's the thing. We try to plan. We try to do everything we can on the recovery side, and we try to look into the fitness and the fitness side of things as well.
And you mentioned Mathias Jensen. A few weeks ago we talked about how Christian Nordgaard had really stepped up and adapted to the Championship, and maybe it's, I don't know, is it taking Mathias just a little bit longer? Is that because of the way, the sort of players that they are?
Yeah, I think it's there's never one way to the top in one club to perform. Maybe Christian, he hit his level a bit before Mathias, but we know Mathias is a top player, and we can see that in spells now more and more. I think second half against Reading he was outstanding. I think he against Luton played a really good game, and he was more average against Blackburn, but still with some key decisive moments in the game with some top passing for Brian for a big chance, for Jensen Burrow for a big chance against Blackburn. So he's getting there. But the thing is, I actually have 4 top midfielders. That's a privilege that we can rotate a bit to get the best out of the team and them without just running them down.
And you talk about humility, and you talk about that need to remain grounded. How much of that culture comes from obviously the example that can be set from above, but how much of that responsibility comes from the players, and that comes from recruitment as well, the people that you find that that they're going to be the people that buy into the club culture? Yeah,
I think of course it's two-sided. Of course, they need to have a certain quality. The players also, we don't want to buy them, of course, but the other side is the person, the character, and for me that's so unbelievable important, because it's long seasons, it's long days, it's a team effort, so we need good people. For me that's a massive thing, and now we have top people in this squad and in this club, and that's why we keep, I think, progressing step by step every single day, and it's easier to take ups and downs together.